Exactly. So we did start a little bit early today. I wanted to make sure our video and everything was working. So I don't know if we want to wait till 11 to sort of officially start, or if it really
Yeah,
matters.
we might as well wait.
Yeah. So we'll just chat. Yeah, I've put it on record, so we're recording this anyways, just to see what it. So we're here today, our second lab, and we're talking about living a remarkable life and our experiences at WDS 2015 and 2014. I attended 2014 and 2015, and I believe, Kevin, 2015 was your first event?
Yeah, that's right. And anyone who doesn't know, WDS is the World Domination Summit.
Yes, and it's not about being a dominatrix or about taking over the world. It's actually about living a remarkable life, coming together to help each other, and really sharing your gifts with the world.
Yeah, and meeting lots of like-minded people on that same path.
Oh, for sure. There's nothing like finding your tribe, like going to WDS and feeling welcomed into the fold of thousands of people, about 3,000 people each year. Going down to about 1,000 next year, but it's like coming home. Yeah.
You know, it's definitely feel like you found your people. This is something I heard from a lot of people when I was there, for sure. For sure. So for people who don't know about the event, Chris Gilbo, and I've probably butchered his name, but I think it's pretty close. He's an awesome guy, author of $100 Startup, and he's quite an introvert, I hear. And he puts on this amazing event with an amazing team of people, all coming together. It's sponsor free. And it really is encouraged for attendees to create their own events as well. So during the whole course of the events, there are all types of meetups and like attendee meetups and everything else running. This year I hosted two myself, one on social entrepreneurship and one on young entrepreneurs. And you've got all this stuff going on for a couple of days that is just amazing. You basically take over Portland, Oregon. Yep. It's very action-packed 3 or 4 days of events for sure. I did not get too much sleep when I was there. And a lot of people will go for a week or longer and spend even up to the full month in Portland just doing all the things going on around Portland. And the closing party I love. I always love DJ Prasad, right? Yeah, I think so, and the Bollywood dancing. The Bollywood dancing is so much fun and just a great thing. Last year, the party, we did the holy powders, so the colored powders, and we were all down at the, I think it's Willamette River. Yeah, along the river. That's where the party was last year. So we had a hot air balloon and tiny houses and an outdoor dance floor, and we were doing all the colored powders, and it was just absolutely amazing. I don't know why the taxi driver even let me into his cab, because absolutely covered with all these different colors. And this year we had the balloons. The big balls. I was at the front of the stage for that, and those big balls all flying at you, they're actually quite annoying. I was down in front of the stage, and I was doing my best to hit them away, but I definitely took quite a few to the head, especially the back of the head. Yes. But, and then, you know, I think it was still pretty fun though. Oh, it was awesome fun. Next time I will ditch the glasses. Yeah. The glasses and the balls do not work too well together. Yeah, I can see that potentially being a problem. Yes, but what a great time. Yep. So let's talk a little bit about WDS 2014 and 2015. Very, very different events in terms of who the speakers were. Both were absolutely amazing, but for different reasons. So Kevin, this was your first year attending. Tell me your thoughts and who your favorite speakers were and how you felt the overall experience was. Yeah, it was my first time there, went by myself. You know, there was some people there that I've interacted with online before, but I never actually met. But it was good to know some people that I could connect with and meet in the real world for sure. That was one of the big highlights, and just all the other new people that I met there. As far as the speakers go,
I mean, I love watching motivational videos and inspirational videos and stuff online, but I had never really been to a conference like that to see the speakers live. And, you know, some of the, I went there expecting most of the speakers to be focused on, you know, the personal development and building your movements and businesses and whatnot. But there was a lot of actually, probably about half of them were fairly emotional, as opposed to, you know, the personal development, which I actually really liked. I mean, John Acuff, the first keynote speaker, I hadn't heard of him before, but now I'm reading all of his books, and he just speaks my kind of language about doing work that you want to do. And he's definitely one of my inspirations as I mean, yesterday was my last day at my corporate job. I'm now striking out on my own to
Congratulations.
try and do my own thing. And so hearing him talk and seeing his passion and whatnot was amazing. And then some of the other speakers like Lewis Howes, talking about his whole, you know, this whole macho ideal that exists in North America and the Western world, and how, you know, instead of trying to be a superhero, you should be a superhuman. That was, you know, very inspiring. And then he shared some very personal details about some tough times he's gone through in his life and opened up, you know, very emotionally, which when you're in the room and people are talking about that kind of thing and you feeling that energy, it's something you have to be there to experience for sure. But it was, you know, I'm fairly closed off emotionally myself. But experiencing that has helped me open up more. And then, you know, on the Sunday, we had a few more fairly emotional speakers between Jeremy Coward and his amazing audio-visual presentation and the work that he's done around the world to try and help people in very tough situations. And then that segued into the fragility of life and that whole message around, you know, you never know how long you have. So do what you want to do right now. That really spoke to me, and that was quite moving for me. And that's definitely one of my big takeaways. So yeah, I mean, the speakers were all the speakers I took something away from, and very enjoyable, and then also just all the connecting, like you talked about the meetups and the workshops and the parties, and just I came away with what felt like a couple dozen new close friends that, you know, I'm probably not going to talk to that much. I'm definitely staying in touch with some of them, but next year, I got my ticket for next year already. So when I show up there and run into a bunch of them, I'm sure it'll feel like, you know, you're just old friends almost, because when you meet people that are on such, I find when you meet people that are on such the same level as you are, the connection that you form, you know, it doesn't take long to get fairly strong. So yeah, it was a amazing, life-changing experience for me.
Oh, definitely. And one of the things I found about this year's speakers was last year it was a different, I don't really know how to explain it. I think they're giving you nuggets to take away and sort of more positive, empowering. Where this year's were amazing speakers, and they really helped us open up emotionally, which was really quite fitting for how they not only showed their emotion and broke it down, but had a whole room feeling those waves of emotion with them, allowing us to be vulnerable, because that's something that as a society we've always been told, don't show your emotions, you have to stay tough. When you're in business, you have to be professional all the time, you can't do this, you can't do that. Whereas we were all, as this huge group of people, not only hearing vulnerability of others, but feeling the emotions that go with that, and knowing that it was okay for ourselves to be vulnerable as well. So completely different than the year before in terms of, I guess, the type of speakers. But every year has shared amazing personal stories, and it's all been about sharing your stories, not about selling your product or you have to do this to get sales. It's not an event that you go to because you want to learn how to make lots of money. It's an event you know to go to because you want to learn how to excel at life and excel at living remarkable experiences, really.
Yeah, and meet people who are with that exact same mindset, right? Like the community, you know, their core values, adventure, community, and service, right? And that community, like I've never really experienced that feeling of community when you're there, just with all on the same wavelengths. It's very, very, very incredible.
Well, when's the last time you went into a crowd of 3,000 people and not been sold something?
Yeah, no, very good
that
point.
Is
very good point. You know, they had the small shop with the books from the speakers, and that was it.
But even the attendees weren't trying to sell you anything either, which even people who reached out to you after the event, they weren't reaching out to you and saying, hey, well, I want you to buy my product or do this or whatever. They reached out and said, hey, I'd like to get to know you better. How can I help you?
Definitely. I mean,
help each other. So it was such a nice feeling.
And even I sent some thank you messages to a few of the speakers that I particularly liked. I think I sent 5, and I got 4 replies back. And you know, they were short, but I think all of them said that if there's ever anything I can do for you, just let me know. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I think we got our first live viewer. Megan just joined. Hi, Megan.
She's typed in hey there.
If you're feeling really adventurous, you can join us on the video chat, or you can just hang out on the side there and listen and ask any questions you want.
And have you been to a WDS event, Megan? Okay. Oh, she's always wanted to go. You need to go. The tickets are going to be much harder to come by this year because they are reducing the event in size by about 1/3. So we're down to about 1,000 attendees for next year. Tickets are coming out October, and then there's usually some where people can't go and they end up selling them afterwards. But go. It will absolutely change your life, Megan. And like the experience, the meeting people. Last year I went. Last year was my first year going, and I knew not a single person. I didn't know anybody who had ever been to the event, let alone know anybody in Portland. So I traveled from Ontario, Canada to Portland, Oregon, knowing nobody. Stayed with somebody I met in one of the groups online, shared a room with that person, and then met thousands of people over the weekend. I was one of the people who had a little project running last year where I was asking everybody, what is the change you want to see in the world? So I was actually going up to people, 113 people, and had them write their answer on a whiteboard and took a picture. So I was blogging about it on trigo.com, but I've ran out of a little time to do that. Hi, Carly. And I'm pretty sure Carly's been to WDS once or twice or so, eh? Can you tell I'm Canadian with that A?
Yeah. Yeah, eh?
Hey, we'll talk about WDS, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, got my moose and my polar bear in the back. So anyways, that's what happened last year. I went, I knew nobody. I came away knowing a lot of people. And strangely enough, people I met and took pictures with, I ended up meeting again in January in LA. Completely random. I hadn't stayed in touch with them. It just turned out that I had actually talked to them at WDS, and then we reconnected in LA, and we're part of another group, and it's great. It means that when you find your tribe, you're going to start meeting your tribe all over the place, and it's quite amazing how it actually works out that you keep meeting people in different circles.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know, almost asking the universe. You know, you meet people, and even I found, you know, there's 2,500, 3,000 people there, and I felt like a lot of the people I met were the people I was supposed to meet. Like, you know, this person that, you know, out of a crowd of 100, I walk up to somebody and start talking to them, and they have very similar interests to me, and you have this all like instant friendship, and that happened on multiple occasions, which you know, everyone there was very friendly and open and everything like that. But it did seem that I had it just kept connecting with people who really met. Favorite session. I'm assuming you were asking about, you were referring to favorite speaker. For me, I think I would have to go with the first speaker, who was John Acuff, and just his message of going back to, I think he was talking about your third grade mind and, you know, doing what really makes you happy and not being like punching fear in the face and just going for it. And I hope, I'm pretty sure they're going to post the videos of the speakers online eventually. And I would highly recommend watching that one.
And I would say John Acuff and then Lewis Howes. Those were my favorite from this year. Last year was Michael Hyatt, and all the videos are available. Michael Hyatt last year talked about making good choices, something that I also tell my daughters. It turns out he tells his daughters this, and it's something that I've told my daughters for years. And at the end of his session, unless I'm being really bad and messing up things, he actually played guitar and sang a rendition of We Can Change the World. And then 3,000 of us joined in to sing Chicago's We Can Change the World with him. And standing there in an audience of 3,000 people singing together that we can change the world, that is the memory that has stayed with me the most. It's just, it was the most powerful moment, I would say, really, that I've experienced outside of, I guess, childbirth.
Wow.
But it was just, it was so moving just to stand knowing that the 3,000 people in that room with me were not just saying, yeah, we're going to change the world today or tomorrow or whatever. They actually meant it. They knew that they were going to go out the next day and they were going to do something to have an impact. They were going to make those great choices and they were going to be change makers in the future. And Lewis Howes this year and John Acuff, just so amazing. Lewis shared some very personal stories that were just, it was great to hear someone share that type of emotion. Oh, I do have the link for.
I just found it.
Did you find it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're all
Which one is that one? Is that all of them? Or?
Yeah, that's Chris's Vimeo page with all of them.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, definitely. I watch them as often as I can because they're amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. Jada Selner last year did great spoken word at the beginning of her presentation. And it was quite amazing to watch as well. The Fizzle Party. I don't think I made it to the Fizzle Party. I did make it to the party at the bowling alley. The opening night or the before opening night party.
The Punch Bowl Social?
Yes, I made it there.
Yeah, I was there too.
This year I had, I guess, almost the luxury of staying in a house with, I think, 12 other people. It was somewhere between 10 and 12. We never knew. But it was just amazing because we had 12 people from all over the world. So we had Montreal, Ontario, England. I can't remember where else. Trying to remember. Anyways, they were all over the world. Across the shores, across the pond. And it was great because we were all different ages. We all had extremely different backgrounds. And it was like family. I made cookies the first night I was there and shared cookies. We had dinner together one night. We went after WDS. We went and did, we climbed Mount Hood one day and then we did the coast the next day and visited Hug Point. So that was quite amazing. Carly, yes, do try and stay with people next year. Find an Airbnb and get other people to join you. Yes. We did the Hoffner House last year or this year and we absolutely loved it. I imagine we will try and do something like that again next year. Yeah. Having that many people in the thing, it was, no one was ever alone, but you also had lots of alone time. Yeah. And yeah, I couldn't say more. And none of us knew each other before going into it.
Yeah.
Last year, that's about all. Excuse me.
I stayed in the hostel. In the hostel, I was in a 12-man dorm room, I think. I hadn't stayed in a dorm room for some time, but I think everybody in my room was actually there for WDS, and at the hostel, like it was a pretty big hostel, and it was probably 80-90% people at WDS. So that was good because I met lots of people there that were also at WDS. But at the same time, I think, being 30, I like to have a little more space and privacy, and I think a group Airbnb would be a great way to go. The hostel, I was at the Northwest Portland hostel. It was like a 15-minute walk from Pioneer Square, I would say.
And ours was up on 12th, basically straight up from the auditorium all the way up. So it was about maybe a 10-minute walk, probably less.
Yeah. That's something else I loved about, WDS being in Portland. It's such a walkable, compact city that you can just, you don't need to rent a car to get around. I took the train from the airport right downtown and good to go. Yeah.
I actually bought a week pass and I used it twice.
Yeah, exactly. I thought about doing that and then I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't, because the only times I used the train were to go to and from the airport, for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. And the food carts are absolutely amazing. I found the best pizza food cart. It is at 3rd and Stark, and he makes like handmade little pizzas, just absolute fresh ingredients, really good. The noodle place over at Alder had amazing noodles, and apparently they make their own noodles.
Oh, wow.
So it was really good. And I didn't find the card I was looking for last year, but I had really good Mediterranean last year from one of them.
Did you find it hard to maintain a normal eating schedule while you were there, at least, especially during the WDS weekend?
Not really, because I like to eat.
Yeah, I like to eat too, but I found like, especially lunch, I don't know, I had a hard time fitting lunch in with all the activities that were going on.
I just would do food carts, I think.
Yeah.
I probably was a little off a few of the days. The Saturday, I didn't really do the event behind the Portland Experience because I decided to go down to the market. I was looking for the fudge place I went to last year. Their fudge packages include a neat little saying inside of them, and it was just really good. Never found it, but was able to go to the Portland market and just visit so many things. So it is hard, though, sometimes to remember to feed yourself. Yeah. I know the hours weren't quite as normal as they might have been. Yeah. But I'm so used to being all over the place that I eat when I'm hungry, and
that works.
Yeah, a little bit later here. So cards made it really easy though to get food whenever you wanted.
That is true. Definitely true. Let's see.
Yes. Oh, I found the cart too. It was right beside the pizza cart.
Yeah.
So next year, Carly, 3rd and Stark is where you want to go. It's the caveman cart. So I don't know if Carly's still here or not.
I think she is.
Oh, yeah, there she is. So Carly, did you go to 2014, 2015, or another one? Oh, there's Carly. Carly's joining us.
Nice.
Yeah, I went 2015. I went.
There you go. Yes. So where are you from, Carly?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Where are you guys from? Canada, I think, right?
I'm from Ontario.
Yeah, I'm from Alberta, Calgary.
I really need a haircut.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun watching yourself talk on video.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. I realize that I have quite a glare in my glasses, and I just can't quite get the glare off of them. Yeah. But if I take them off, then I can't read the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably better to be able to read the questions.
Yes, definitely. So it really is about finding the right lighting too, and trying not to play with your hair.
Yeah.
Kevin, you're not too bad.
I don't have very much hair to play with.
I don't have much either. It's getting longer than I like.
Yeah. So, Carly, what was your top highlight from WDS this year?
God, it was just so amazing. How moving all the talkers were, I think. And a lot of the meetups, too, were great. I met a lot of really nice, great people.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, that app was nice to use because I would just, someone would say, hey, I'm here. And then I would just go there and meet somebody. So it was like really nice.
Yeah, definitely. You know, for someone, I'm fairly introverted, and having that app, I'm fairly introverted to start, so to find things to do definitely helped. And also then, I'm not the best with names. It's something I'm working on, especially when I first meet people, but I tried to type their name into a note on my phone, and then I could go onto the app and find them. And that's how I've, stayed in touch with a number of people thanks to that app.
That would be great. I didn't do that. I've sort of lost touch with a lot of people, but
that was one of the good things about my project last year, because I took pictures of them with their names. So
yeah, I love the name tags personally.
Yeah. I still got mine hanging right by my computer here.
Mine's in my closet somewhere.
This guy's from last year.
Oh, cool.
So Gary Hirsch last year gave us all Brave bots. So I take him everywhere. So this is my Brave bot. He's been to Australia, and he's been to LA, and he stays with me. He's usually in my purse or somewhere close by.
Yep.
Let's see, there he is. Yeah, so he was my special Brave bot. And look who else I have. I have
you've got
mine home.
You got a piece.
I even declared him through customs.
Nice.
So his name is Ali. He had a hashtag at the event this year because he looks like an owl.
Oh yeah.
If you notice, there's like a little hook here in his eyes. Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I've got the hacky sack sitting right here by my computer, and I've been carrying. When I went to the Portland experience, they gave out these wooden nickels.
Yep, I've got those.
I've got mine in my wallet.
That's what I kind of carry around. I carry around one of these wooden nickels. As my.
And up here, Gavin did these posters last year for us.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're pretty neat. So I keep my little reminders around. I love those.
Yeah, I think those reminders are, I think they're, for me too, they're powerful, and they help, you can look at them and easily take yourself back to the memories and use it to help re-inspire yourself in lower moments maybe. Yeah.
And I heard there were only 500 hacky sacks, so keep that hacky sack handy.
Might be worth something someday.
Who knows? I know it was an amazing thing, and I can't wait to go next year.
Me neither. You guys got your tickets already?
Yeah,
I don't have mine yet. I'm determined to get on stage next year, so I want to speak next year. So let's hope that happens. Otherwise, I'll be buying a ticket from somebody who can't go last minute, likely.
I think you can do it.
Yeah, I'm sure you can get in. And
I know I can do it. Yes, I came very close to a speaker story this year, an attendee story.
Oh, did you?
Oh, wow.
I did. So I'm going to work on that, and I'm going to talk to Jolie later in the year, and fingers crossed. Somebody write in and say, hey, put Rebecca on stage because she's crazy enough to do it. And one of the things I'd really like to talk about is getting out of your comfort zone, because that is something that I have been doing for the last 3 years. I've purposely put myself into situations that completely freak me out. So now they don't freak me out very much.
Yeah.
But I was always more shy and everything else. And I guess about 2011, I started putting myself into places that basically scared me, getting out of my comfort zone by going to large events where I knew nobody and just walking up to people and saying, hi, how are you?
Yep.
And because of that, I have met so many people across the world. I have did so many things that now it comes second nature to me to walk into a room of 3,000 people and come away knowing people.
Yep.
I'm now able to introduce other people to people. And it's such a great experience just being able to say, you don't have that fear anymore, really.
No.
And that's one of the best ways to get over your fear, is just to simply keep doing the things that scare you.
Punch it in the face.
Yeah.
Definitely push back past the barriers and ignore that fear. So there's some fear that is good. So if you're afraid of fire, that's probably a good thing. You don't really want to be in fire. You should probably have a healthy fear of not breaking your bones.
I have.
Yeah.
I live on an eighth floor in an eighth floor apartment. You know, I'm afraid of falling off the balcony. Right. That's a legitimate fear. But
I got a sort of irrational fear of bridges.
mm,
My mom, when I was a little kid, there's this bridge that we used to go over. And my mom would tell me the story of people falling off the bridge to scare me because I used to climb on everything. And so, so she instilled this really irrational fear of bridges in me. That I know is irrational, but you can't really.
Well, I blame Final Destination for some of my fears because I have a fear of driving behind trucks carrying logs or any type of pole on them that could like slide out and go through your windshield.
Yeah, it could.
Fears of cans rolling underneath the gas pedals on your car so you can't stop your car. Yeah, that's Final Destination's fault.
Yeah.
Panels falling out of like tall buildings. Yeah.
That one's pretty
Roadrunner. But yeah, you have to look at things where there are rational fears and there's irrational fears. And if you're not in moral danger or physical danger, mortal or moral danger, maybe that's the best way to term it, then you should just face the fears and go forward with it. As long as you are not going to die and you're not doing something that is morally wrong, then go for it.
Worst that's going to happen is, you know, somebody might say no or something.
No, it's not the worst thing in the world, I've learned.
No.
Yeah, I do have that irrational fear of the phone too, but I think it's because I spent too many years on a phone.
I share that fear. It's completely stupid, I know, but it is what it is.
Well, if somebody calls me, I'm fine. I just don't want to call anybody else.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a fear or an aversion. I don't know the difference.
A little bit of both, maybe. You don't want to bother people.
That's it. I think that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, if you know they're free, then fine, but you don't want to interrupt them at work or anything like that. You don't want to interrupt them if they're in the middle of something, but then they shouldn't answer. Yeah, so I really have to start calling more people, just picking up the phone and calling them in person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about facing our fears a little bit last year at WDS. We didn't talk too much about 2014, but we had some absolutely amazing speakers. Dee Williams, who is behind Tiny Houses. She wasn't talking about tiny houses as much as... Pardon?
Rowdy Kittens?
I don't know.
Her blog, is that the part?
I think her blog is more on tiny houses or PDX.
Okay. Maybe it's somebody else then, maybe.
Yeah, she might have different things, but her talk was not on tiny houses. She told us a little bit about a health issue she had that had got her into the tiny houses, but the lesson to her talk, or the nugget that we actually took away, was the need to wear your invisible cape. So last year we also had blankets at the closing party, so everybody was wearing capes. Although she talked about wearing an invisible cape, because when you put on your superhero cape, your invisible cape, you immediately start standing taller, you're more confident, you speak better, and all those fears go away because you have your cape on, so you can do that. So that was something I really loved about her talk last year. And then we talked about Michael Hyatt. Who else did we have? Gary Hirsch talked about Brave Bots, and I love the Brave Bot idea that you take your Brave Bot with you and it helps you be brave in any situation. Peter Sellner talked about getting out, like going past your fears and pushing past them a little bit. It's all somewhat of a jumble last year. I just remember being so moved and inspired and trying to take it all in. At the same time, I'm meeting like thousands of people and trying to do this huge project that I was really scared everybody would just say no.
Yeah, but a lot of them said yes, right?
I think 113 out of maybe 115 or 16 said yes, and the ones who said no only because they couldn't figure out what to say.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a no, it was I have to think about it. And the neatest thing was last year, I had people who started following me around to see what other people would say next. So that was pretty neat.
Yeah, that was cool.
And just being able to talk to everybody was so great because the things that came out from asking the question, what is the change you want to see in the world? You had such a variety of answers.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped some Portland roller derby people, not part of WDS, and these guys wearing their full roller derby uniform, they immediately both unanimously said education.
Wow.
So that's
Cool.
interesting to see what people are thinking, because we don't really think about what are other people thinking, what is important to other people. So it's nice to hear.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's see, what are we talking about? We talked about 2014. 2014, I would say, was more, I guess it was happier maybe. It was
less emotional.
Less emotional. It was happy and nuggets taking away and great stories and sharing stories, but it didn't tear you down and build you back up the same way as this year. Last year tore you down a bit, but really built you back up, like brought you back to that happy go forward place, where this year the talks were very, very moving and emotional, a lot of emotion freed, but there sort of wasn't that upswing. It just sort of left you there. But it was a good way this year because, sorry?
Cathartic.
Yeah. It just let everybody release the tears and release, I think, a lot of emotion that people tend to hold within themselves.
Yeah, definitely.
And holding that emotion in is not good. We need to release that emotion. We need to get out those thoughts, and we need to be open and authentic, really, with ourselves.
And the people close to us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those experiences in our life, they stay with us and they are part of who we are. They really have an impact.
Yeah.
So those would be the main differences I found from last year to this year, where how the talks, I guess, sort of ended. Like we walked out of the places crying, whereas last year you walked out crying but with a smile on your face.
I cried during Jeremy Coward's presentation. That's the first time I've actually cried in, like, I don't know, 15 or 20 years probably.
What was that? Was that 2014?
That was this year. The photo video presentation on the Sunday morning.
That was
Yeah. And then, you know, the group hugging that happened after that, and the singing of of Amazing Grace, and yeah, it was.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, very moving.
You definitely have to go back and watch the videos, because you forget some of the things that happen.
Yeah, like, you know, I've got my notebook too with all the notes I took, but I want to definitely rewatch all the videos and probably add a lot more, because you know, when you're watching it live, you really want to. I was really trying to be present and take it all in, but at the same time, they're dropping all this, you know, great information and some awesome nuggets that I wanted to try and capture. And so, yeah, it'll be really good to be able to watch those videos.
Yeah.
Well, and it is a total overload at times too, because you can't take everything away. You want to process it all and keep it with you, but I forget half of it.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the key ones, but then it's like, okay, who said that? Who did that?
Yeah.
And I would say Lewis Howes is the one that stayed with me the most out of all the presentations. And I can't remember her name, but the lady who spoke about losing her husband.
Oh, God, that one was just, oh my God. I bawled. I lost that one.
Megan Devine.
That's right, Megan Devine. Yes. Yeah, no, that one stayed with me too, because I've went through loss, and it felt very like you're changed. You're changed after you go through a loss. Now, for me, I lost a pregnancy halfway through a pregnancy, but it's a loss, and people don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
They don't know how to deal with it, and they don't know how to move past it or treat you or anything else, and it's very hard. So I found that really hit me when I was listening to it.
Yeah.
And and like Lewis Howes, his story it really hit me as well. And it's just great to see people too who have went through these experiences and not let it stop them from doing other things in life.
It shows how universal loss is. When everyone stood up after when the I forget what her name was when she was talking through people with the my God,
Lisa Rankin.
I think that was it when she was talking through the what was it called?
Oh, I can't remember.
She was talking about.
It was she just like brought her like it was not a prayer exactly, but like a group.
Oh yeah, that was Lisa Rankin
I
definitely.
forget what it was called.
To come back out, she was trying to bring us back up out of the grief, right?
Yeah,
Mm.
it was just that was amazing too. Everything was amazing.
But yeah, like Rebecca, I think you're right about seeing these people carrying on, and because life does go on, like loss happens, and that's a fact of life, and we all experience
and bad things happen.
Yep, bad things happen, and everybody handles them differently, and that's okay. Like I think sometimes society, like when she was talking about society, says, "Oh, you got to move on."
Yeah.
But some people everybody handles it differently, and that's okay. But yeah, having people share and be open like that with total strangers.
Yeah.
But feel totally comfortable doing it. It's a very amazing feeling.
Yeah, I went to this hotel where they had the introverts, the Dispy Lounge.
Yeah.
And it was full, so I went downstairs to the lobby, and I just got this really deep conversation with people. I don't even remember their names or anything about them, but it's like I cried. I talked about my loss, and it was just very cathartic. It was sort of dumping on them a little bit, but it was mutual a little bit. It felt like I needed to do it, and it was just something I forgot about that.
So let's talk about corn dogs.
Oh, what? Oh,
corn dogs. Does anybody else have cravings for corn dogs lately? Yeah, I've been making homemade corn dogs. I think I've made them 3 times since World Domination Summit, and I haven't ate corn dogs in years. But just a couple weeks before World Domination Summit, and before I realized Kid President loved them so much, I had suddenly developed a really intense craving for a hand-dipped corn dog. So it was sort of funny that I get to WDS and what's he talking about? Corn dogs.
Corn dogs, yeah.
And could I find a hand-dipped corn dog in Portland? No.
Yeah.
So I went home and I made my own. So now I've fed my kids corn dogs a few times. And Kid President, it was awesome having him there.
Yeah.
He's such an amazing kid with a positive outlook on life no matter what is happening. I loved hearing his uncle talking about even when Kid President's condition has him in the hospital, how he's still happy and dancing and just looking on the positive side of life. And I think it's something we all need to remember is that we should keep on dancing. We should keep on laughing because no matter how bad things are, there's always going to be a brighter side, and you can't change the past.
No.
But you can work on the future and make sure that you're working towards a happy future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need this talk today.
Yeah. So it was just absolutely great hearing him and having him out answering the questions from the audience. And I love the fact that our entire tribe of people asked amazing, great questions that were great for him.
Yeah.
And didn't try to ask him not nice questions or difficult questions. It was all just sort of, it was that happy moment because let's face it, Kid President makes you happy.
Yeah.
So smart. He's, his thoughts are what more people need to be saying. We need to love each other more. We need to share our corn dogs with people. Hi, Jason. Thanks for joining us. Feel free to grab a seat if you feel like chatting, or just follow along.
I think he only popped in and popped right back.
Does it say when they leave?
No, I think the circles at the top. I think that shows who's.
Yeah, I think so.
It's only us then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have some viewers, but I think they're just sort of subscribed to it so they can see it later.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're still figuring this out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's cool though. Yeah, the world could definitely use more of the Kid President's kind of attitude. It would be a much better place.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
This morning we were actually talking about how we can make the world a better place and how you need to start doing that in your own community.
Australia, wow.
Hello, Australia.
Middle of the night.
Is it in Australia? I wonder.
Yes.
Or somebody who really likes Australia, maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're not in Australia right now. Maybe they're actually in a different time zone.
Yep, that's also possible.
So
Anyways,
Australia, are you in Australia right now, or are you in a different time zone?
Oh,
Thailand.
wow.
There you go.
Still very far away. What time is it?
Yeah, and still, I think, very early in Sunday morning, probably. So good on you for joining.
Yes, I'm still trying to figure out time zones.
Yeah, those are tricky.
Yeah.
It's 10:45 p.m. actually in Thailand right now.
Oh, is it? It's 11:46 a.m. in Canada, Ontario.
Yeah, and it's 9:46 a.m. here.
It's 10:46 here.
There we go. 4 people, 4 time zones. The power of the internet.
Yes. And how amazing is it that 10 years ago, this wouldn't be possible?
No.
Like a couple years ago, like 5 years ago, a couple months ago, Blab wasn't even possible.
Yes, and I do like the Blab platform better than Periscope, and it seems more user-friendly than Google Hangouts.
Yeah, this is very simple to use, and I like how people can pop in and out, and
yeah,
we can, if there was
I
more
like the built-in Twitter.
Yep.
And conversations, you can actually talk with other people as opposed to talking to a camera and then seeing words that you might not see.
And it's recorded as well. We can record it if we want or turn it off.
Yeah.
Which makes it really nice. So
yeah.
And if you're feeling a little lonely someday, you can just come on here and join up with some, chat that sounds interesting to you, and yeah.
Yeah, so what else did we want to talk about today? Should we wrap up for today, or
I don't know, I think we touched on the main points I had noted down.
Yeah. So what would be your absolute number one takeaway from this year?
Well, mine was to just not let fear stop me and, make changes. And I mean, I did quit yesterday was my last day at my job, and that.
Well, congratulations.
WDS was the final nail in that coffin. So that was my big takeaway.
I had a similar experience, except mine involved being let go, but.
Yeah.
But I was working as a telemarketer, and I hated the position. I was doing it because I wanted to get experience in sales. Suffice to say, I'm not telemarketing material. But my main takeaway was small steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what would my biggest takeaway be? I think my biggest takeaway remains just go in, say yes to opportunities, and enjoy the experience along the way.
Oh, wow.
Oh. Everybody at once?
Yes, yeah. So I think that would be the main thing. So, well, next week we've got a list of topics. So I guess you and I, Kevin, will talk about what we're going to talk about next week.
Sounds good.
Have fun.
Thanks for joining us today. Tune in next week, same time, same channel.
Yep.
I sort of feel like it should be same bat time, same bat channel.
Yep. Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. I'll talk to you later.
Have a great week.
Bye, everyone.